Hello, everyone, and welcome to SeaWorld. There you go. My name is Ariane, and I'll be your guide as we give you an inside look at what it means to care for the amazing animals at SeaWorld San Diego. And this is our last one, so you guys need to get excited about it, okay? All right. Now across the park, there are hundreds of ambassadors that are working 24/7 to ensure the health, safety, and prosperity of the animals in our care. Now, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, whether it's from preparing thousands of pounds of fish a day to conducting various training and enrichment sessions. We have a team of on-site veterinarians that are able to provide routine as well as emergency medical checkups. And we also have our SeaWorld rescue team that has come to the aid of over 39,000 animals since we opened our doors in 1964. Now, today, we're going to give you an inside look at Orca Encounter. SeaWorld San Diego is home to 9 killer whales that range in age from 8 years old to 57 years old. And let me tell you, no day is the same for our team of killer whales, whether it's from interacting with other whales or participating in various training and enrichment sessions. We do have 5 different areas our animals can interact. The pool you're currently looking at is around 36 feet deep, and we do have our underwater viewing pool that is around 30 feet deep with an underwater rock structure and live fish the animals can interact with. Now to get it rolling, I won't hold up your time anymore. We're gonna introduce you to the animals you're gonna be meeting today, starting with Nakai. Now Nakai is a 20-year-old male, and he is one of the smartest animals that I've worked with. He has learned behaviors just from watching other animals show them. So that's really cool and just shows you how intelligent he is. But it also, I'm kind of biased because he's the first animal I worked with when I started working here at SeaWorld. Now next up, we're going to introduce you to Keet. Actually, we're going to introduce you to Ulises, whose full name is Ulises. He goes by a couple. One of them is Big Dog. The other one is Big Country. But I'll let you see why as it comes out right here. Everyone look towards the center of the pool. Oh yeah. Now he is 44 years old, and just look how athletic he is. Now last but certainly not least, we have 28-year-old Keet, whose birthday is actually next month. Now Keet is our gentle giant and is known for enjoying his nap time throughout the day and time with his trainers. All right, looks like he's coming toward the center as well. Everyone say hello to Keet. Now today, our goal is to talk to you more about the types of sessions that we offer our killer whales using the acronym HELPR. Each letter stands for husbandry, exercise, learn, play, presentation, and relate. Now the 3 letters we're going to talk to you about today are going to be play, also learn, and our favorite, exercise. So to start off our segments, we're going to talk to you about our play sessions. Now these are sessions where we can interact with the whales in different ways and just have fun with them. So trainers have been known to make up little games with them, one of them being hide and seek. We have also come up with little devices called enrichment that we can utilize in their environment to interact with them with. So they can be large, whale-sized items that they can't destroy, but also items that they can tote around. Now today we're going to play a crowd favorite called Simon Says. Raise your hand if you're familiar with the game. So y'all know the rules. Basically, if Simon says, we ask for you to do that behavior or just show us that movement. Now if Simon doesn't say, you don't do that movement, okay? Sounds simple enough? All right, everyone do me a favor and stand on up. Yeah, I got y'all working today. All right, perfect. Okay, so the game now begins. Simon says, spin in a circle. Look, guys. Wow, all right. Very nice, very nice. Okay. Simon says, stomp your feet. Oh, let's see what we get. Look at that. Wave your hands in the air. Y'all, Simon did not say. So you know what happens now? You get wet. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of the way. All right, everybody, give yourselves a round of applause. Good job. So you can see how having these play sessions allows us to not only vary the animals' days, but also get you all more connected to them so that you learn to enjoy them and also care for them, especially in the wild as well. And that's our goal for this, especially. All right, so now that we had a little fun, we're going to do a little movement of whales, and I want you all to look a little bit around our area here, where we have different options for our animals to go into, so I mentioned those areas. Right now, we're going to have some of our animals go into our back area. So this pool to the left side, so you'll see there is a gate apparatus that we can utilize to open and close. Now in a second here, you'll probably hear a large, that sound. And you'll see that gate is closing. So that's how we move animals around the habitat space, and that's how we ask them from one pool to the next. So even though you all are seeing that certain animals are here right now, that doesn't mean that they're going to stay there, because we can mix up anywhere the animals are at any part of the day. So that's why you may see different animals hanging out at underwater viewing, or even here for your presentations that you watch. Now next up, I'm going to pass it to that guy on stage named Mike, and he's going to talk to you more about our Learn segment.
All right, thank you guys, and thank you very much, Ariane. Good afternoon. You guys having a good day so far? Yes. Now, if you did not get splashed earlier, we'll try and get it later. Okay. Who came to our earlier presentation today? Yes. Yeah, we were going a little crazy that time too. So we'll try and get you guys down low. You guys got ponchos, so you're ready. Okay. So what we're going to talk about this afternoon is a learning session. So that's when we're specifically working on a very minute part of a behavior or teaching behavior altogether. What we're using with Keet is we go to get these very large Q-tips. Those are elephant-sized Q-tips, but they're really just buoys on the end of the stick. And what we use them for is the animals have learned to focus a certain body part to that target pole. Now, initially, when you start working with animals, it ends up being your hand and your eye contact as you work with them. But since the killer whales are so large, to maneuver them in the area, you need a bigger apparatus to help shape their behavior through the process. And that word shape means something. Think of it like molding. But what we want the animals to do is have them, in this case with Keet, he's focusing two parts of his body simultaneously to these target poles. Now, we couldn't just do this from day one. He already knows how to do this with target poles. He's very well versed with target poles in his career. But I want to give you a little quick history of what these target poles are. Now, all of our training is based on positive reinforcement, which basically, in our terms, when the whales do something correct, we throw a party for them. You guys, what do you think we do? If the whales do something correct, what do we do? Yell it out.
Feed them.
Feed them. Give them a fish, right? Things like that. Clap for them, you name it. If all we did was give them a fish every time you did something correct, that would be very boring, very predictable. Variety is the spice of life. For us, same thing for the whales. So you'll see us sometimes come out and do an entire presentation and not touch a single fish. Now, what we're working on particularly here with Keet is having him focus, as you saw right here, he was bringing both ends of his body up at the same time, because what we're trying to get him to remember is on this behavior he's about to do, That's just his little sighting bow, but we want him to come up and try and get both parts of his body in the air at the same time. So here he comes. That was actually pretty good for him. You guys give him a round of applause for that. Now with some of the younger whales, or even Ulises, who's a little bit more athletic, they can get their bodies out completely. He can do the same thing, but it's something that we're retraining with him to have him refocus on that, like show him exactly where we want what we call criteria to be, or what we're looking for in that behavior. So again, for all of these steps that we do with the whales, we break everything down into small steps so the animals can understand them. So it's kind of like learning how to read. You learn the letters first and what those sounds make, and then you put those letters together, then you're making words, sentences, paragraphs, and then you're writing the whole novel. So all of our training does fall back on all these other steps that Keet knows so that he can be successful, and then you can kind of take little steps or little approximations into the more advanced stuff. So that's why you saw Morgan and Taylor working right here with the target pole in front to remind Keet, hey, right now we're working on this. Focus on keeping these two parts of your bodies up out of the water, touch the target poles right here. And then that way hopefully that translates to when he goes and gets asked to go through the pool behavior, we get the same thing happening out here in the middle of the pool as you saw in that first approximation. So it looks like they're going again with him. There's that sighting bow again. Target pole to tell him where we want to come up. Taylor to tap the other one to bring his... Now I can't quite see because the sun was right in my eyes, but I heard the whistle and they're running around over there. So good job, Keet. I see the target pole going away. So what that means is they've decided that everything is good and we're going to move on to our next behavior. So our training sessions vary in length and it all depends on what we're looking for out of each individual whale and what they're learning. So that was great for Keet. And now we're going to move on to a slightly different behavior with Nakai. So he'll be coming out of the back in just a second. Now what we're working on with him is what we call a center or a pec-up, meaning his pectoral flipper up in the air, bow. Hi, Keet. Yeah, Keet's talking now. Does he have anything else he wants to say? Yeah, he does. Little tidbit, Keet has some of our loudest vocals of all the 9 whales here. There he goes, he got a little louder. Alright, so Keet's going to go into the back. You guys can say bye, Keet. He's a good boy. And now, Nakai will be coming out. What I said was a pec-up bow. So the bow is our basic aerial that whales and dolphins do. They come out head first, make a little rainbow arc in the sky, and head first back into the water. What we're working with Nakai is that he does it with his pectoral flipper up, or essentially sideways. Different from what we would call a side breach. A side breach, or any breach behavior, is when they land on the surface of the water, kind of like cannonball style. So a side breach, they go up on their side and land on their side to send a big amount of water out. Now side breaches are natural behaviors that whales and dolphins do because it's one way that they can use to communicate. Sometimes when you see the whales jumping around like that, they're either playing with one another. They can also be simply scratching an itch. Their skin sloughs off a lot faster than ours, and so jumping up like that and landing on your side is a good way to scratch an itch. It can also be a communication method for them to say something like, hey, I'm over here, or hey, stay away from me. So watching the whales in general, for those of you guys get to hang out and watch them, it's very cool to try to interpret what's going on. You have to be aware of what's going on in their whole environment as opposed to just the one behavior that they're doing. So what Katie's going to be working on right now, real briefly, will be having his pet come up. And then when Ulises gets out here, since his session is going to be a little bit of an exercise, I'll actually try and mix in a pec-up bow with Ulises and even that belly breach that you saw Keet doing so you guys can see the difference. Okay. So this behavior has a couple parts. We have Nicole over here teaching Nakai. We want him to build up speed this direction. And then come back this way. and look for that left pec. It should be his dorsal fin towards you. Piece of cake. He got it, but he wasn't quite as high as you wanted. Oh, the siding valve is what we're focusing on. So, you got to see what happens when you kind of get a behavior you're not quite looking for. Absolutely nothing. You're still getting reward. So what we want to focus with all these animals, as long as you're paying attention to your trainer and remaining calm, we move on. Mistakes are a part of life. It's the same thing with the whales. It's okay to make mistakes. It's how you learn. So what we were focusing on over here is the reason Nicole had that target pull in the water is we ideally don't want him to surface before he makes the turn. So we're going to see if he can stay underwater this time as he approaches Nicole. He's down there. Slightly better. He didn't bring his head up, but he did kind of do a somersault, got his tail flukes out, but that was better. And then a much lower part of the behavior there. So this is what, as trainers, you're always working with. So kind of think of it, for those of you parents out there and teachers out there, you're always trying to look at the motivation and how much you want to push or focus on any given session. So you have to break it down into parts and really focus on, or pick which aspect you want to focus on. So a little bit more energy there, but he came out of the water, and you'll probably get a little bit higher, at least a little bit more gusto there, so that's good. But again, you got to pick which one you're going with in a session like this. Yes. All right, so why don't we get one more approx probably with him. We're going to go ahead and have Ulises come out and do the next section, which will be our exercise. So we'll see what we're going to do here with Nakai, so you can get one more approach. And then we're going to put it all together with Ulises and show you just what these behaviors will look like when they are done. All right, so Nakai's on his way. He's really deep this time, but also coming up at a sharp angle. Nope. You want to tell him? Okay. And he did it. So, you got to see what happens when he's not paying attention. So Nakai, like all the animals, sometimes they're focused on different things. He was more focused on ignoring the target underwater. No big deal. We just go on, move on, do something else. So that's why we're going to go ahead and switch it up. Bring Ulises out here now and move on to that next section. Ariane, you want to do exercise?
What do you feel like?
I can keep going if you want me to.
Oh yeah, hit it.
Sorry, you guys are stuck with me then, I guess. All right, Ulises is on his way out. Morgan will be working with him. He's our largest whale. Hi, Bubba. All right, so Morgan's going to just do a few areas with him just to show you what those behaviors would look like. So again, this first one will be just what a regular bow is. Are you fine asking for okay. Here he comes on the left side. That was the regular bow. Now she asked for the pec bow that should happen over here. So jumping out of the water, his right flipper in the air. A little bit more gusto than Nakai's, and then maybe center belly if he could grab. Oh, he's going to keep going. Go ahead and tone that. I couldn't think you got toned the first time. So we're going to go right into the Keet behavior, which you guys saw. So that will be the center belly. Oh, where's he going? Did he think that was a slide out? Possibly. Oh, he just wants to wait. So again, this is the beauty about being able to come back and see multiple of these presentations because it's never the same thing. You guys get to see these animals make the choices they do, and then we move on and do some other stuff. So he either got confused or decided he wanted to listen to the voice in the back. Doesn't matter. We move on and try something else. You want to try just perimeter belly maybe? Alright, so instead of having to do it in the center like Keet would, we'll show you that final behavior should be pretty spectacular and get you guys wet over here. So on the count of 3, here comes Ulises. 1, 2, 3. Alright. One more over there for you guys, and I'll be done. Go back to Aria. Nice.
All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed that today and enjoyed meeting our animals. And we want to let you know we enjoyed having you all here, especially for this last inside look. Now, if you want to continue your inside look adventure, there are scavenger hunts that are available at the front of the park for you to interact with, and they're actually pretty cool. But we also have our Sea Rescue that is playing in our Mission Bay Theater. And last but not least, if you attend our Sea Lions presentation, there is an inside look for that area before the presentation as well. So I encourage y'all to go look at that. But once again, thank you so much. And if y'all have any questions at all, feel free to come on up here and ask away. Thank y'all so much. Have a great day at SeaWorld, everyone.